Hey, what's up everybody? Jake here and welcome to the hobby. Today we are talking about Prismatic Evolutions, the upcoming Pokemon card set to be released in January, and this set is incredibly hype. But currently there's a lot of frustration about this set because it falls into two categories. The first one is sold out. That's your first option, is that it's straight up sold out. The second option is overpriced. It's currently overpriced because you can find Elite Trainer boxes that are normally retailing for $60, going for as much as $90 to $100. In a lot of eBay sold listings, I'm seeing ridiculous prices that people are currently paying for these ETBs. And that seems to be the current two choices. Whatever stores you're currently looking for Prismatic Evolutions, it's either sold out or overpriced, and there's no in between. You cannot find any Prismatic Evolutions products at a reasonable price right now. And that is super frustrating for Pokemon card collectors. I absolutely understand that. It is super frustrating when it seems like you just can't collect cards. All you want is to crack open a couple of booster packs and enjoy a simple hobby. Why is that so hard? So I want you guys to know your frustration is understood. You deserved to be able to collect some cool cards at a reasonable price. Unfortunately, that's not where we're currently at, and it's super frustrating. And I wanted to share in that frustration with you. So I wanted to bring up a scenario that actually occurred a couple of years ago. This is directly from Reddit 4 years ago. And I want you to read this Reddit post with me and understand the frustration that we've been dealing with for a very long time. This post is from 4 years ago, and the title is Crazy Expensive Vivid Voltage. Actually, kind of pissed off, excuse my language, about the hike in Pokemon cards. The new set is coming out soon, and I can't find any at an affordable price. The Build and Battle deck box is $50, and my local store for pre-order, $50 effing dollars. Not to mention that a booster box is going for around $170 now too. And then the scalpers are going to charge me $200 plus for a box, and I can't afford to get it. Just dumb. So this is someone that really wanted to pre-order and collect and open up a couple of packs of Vivid Voltage 4 years ago, and they weren't able to. And I get their frustration as well. I understood it at the time, and I understood it now. It's almost the exact same scenario beat for beat, and it really is frustrating. I want you guys to know that there will come a time when you can find Prismatic Evolutions at retail price. And it's going to be up to you whether you want to weather that storm or whether you want to pick up Elite Trainer boxes at $90 to $100. I'm not going to tell you one is right or wrong. I'm not going to tell you that. There is no right or wrong here. It's going to be up to each individual person to make their choice. But I want you to be aware that most sets eventually reach retail price. Right now, if you want to pick up Crown Zenith at retail price, it's available. If you want to pick up Shining Fates, it's still available. If you want to pick up Paldean Fates, it's still available. If you want to pick up 151, that is much more challenging, but still available. And the other holiday or special set would be Shrouded Fable, but no one cares about Shrouded Fable. It's left in a closet somewhere. Oh, poor Shrouded Fable. Shrouded Fable is definitely available at well below retail price. So of the vast majority of special Pokemon card sets, most of them, even the older ones, are still available at retail price. And a couple of very, very few ones, like 151, is now kind of expensive. But you can still find 151s at retail price every now and again. It's certainly more challenging, but the norm is most Pokemon card sets do eventually reach retail price. So why is allocations for Prismatic Evolutions looking so low? Why is it so hard to get any of these products? And why are a lot of stores like big YouTubers are saying allocations for this set is lower? And I agree with them. I'm not saying they're wrong. Well, let's talk about that, all right? Let's talk about that. The first one is allocation numbers. That's a very big deal because a lot of people are saying allocation numbers for Prismatic Evolutions are lower than that, which is why card shops are pricing them higher. They're pricing them higher because they just don't have enough stocks, and they want to make sure that people can get their hands on them. The people that really want them can get their hands on them, however you want to say that, because they need to be able to sell some to their local area. And if they price it at $60, they'll sell out. So that's the ultimate thing. Their choices are either to not sell any or sell it at market price, because if they lower their prices than market price, they ultimately sell out. So I understand their frustration there. I don't agree with them pricing at 95. I feel like they can still reasonably price it at 75 or 85 and there's no room for a scalper there, right? So them pricing at 95 is kind of ridiculous because they can still price it at 75 or 85 and combat scalping, or they can just limit it to like 2 per person. But it is a challenge for card shops too, so I understand there. But ultimately, the reason why allocation numbers are fairly low is because anyone with the potential to get allocation is asking for allocation. That means everyone, and I mean everyone. Sports card shops, big box retailers, people that normally might not order a ton of Prismatic Evolutions is currently ordering a ton of it. People that normally never buy Pokemon cards. If you're the owner of a big sports card shop, you might not normally buy Pokemon cards, but you technically can order Pokemon cards if you wanted to. And those people are currently ordering Prismatic Evolutions because word gets around. Everyone knows that Prismatic Evolutions is going to be an incredibly profitable set for stores. So if you can get allocations, regardless whether you're a sports store or a grocery store, you're going to pick up Prismatic Evolutions. And that's just the mom and pop shops. Because if you're a big box retailer, let's say you're a GameStop, let's say you're someone with a lot of leverage, you can twist the arm of your distributors and say, hey, we literally order 50,000 Elite Trainer boxes from you, or we're gonna put a lot of pressure on you because big box retailers have a lot of pressures on distributors. So if you're a GameStop and you know you're gonna sell out of Prismatic Evolutions no matter how much stock of it you get, you're gonna want, like if you're the VP of GameStop right now, you are gonna fight every single distributor to get as much allocation of Prismatic Evolutions as you can. And that's why some of these allocation numbers for mom and pop stores are smaller, because they're the last on the food chain. They just get whatever's left over. So I understand the frustration why some people are blaming card shops who are pricing their ETBs so incredibly high. I'm not saying it's fully justified. I understand the struggle there. And it is a frustrating time for both sides. So that's the first reason, is allocations numbers are low, but we can explain that to a couple of different reasons. Are stocks of Prismatic Evolutions lower than prior sets? They could be a little bit lower, but I do think because of the popularity of this set, almost to a 151 level or even more than 151, a lot of places are ordering a ton of it. If I was a store, I would order as much of it as I can. If I was a store owner, I would order as much as I can because I know I can sell out. So it's like free money. It's kind of hard to leave that on the table. So it just depends on your store. Most stores can't get as much as they want. Like, that's the honest truth. But eventually Prismatic Evolution should be available at retail price. And it's up to you as a collector whether you want to weather that storm or not. Will this set be popular? Absolutely, it will be popular, but it will have multiple different waves. And you should be able to get your hands on a couple of Prismatic Evolutions over the next 2, maybe even 3 years. This is going to be a long while. You know, there's still plenty of Crown Zenith products out there. If you want to pick up Crown Zenith, there are products of it still available on the Pokemon Center website at retail price. Shining Fates is still available at retail price, and that's like a 4-year-old set, so it just depends on the set, how much the Pokemon Company reprints. Prismatic Evolutions could have a huge restock. If the Pokemon Company wants to print more of it, they absolutely can. There's absolutely nothing stopping them from doing that. If you really want to crack open some Prismatic Evolutions and you can't find any, the other option would be Terastal Festival. Terastal Festival is still available. Plenty of it is available in Japan. If you pick it up from a US distributor, they're going to price it a little bit higher, but I think even $60 to $70 for a Terastal Festival booster box is completely fine. That's just the price of shipping something to the US and then selling it to you. If you want to pick it up from Japan, I have videos of how to pick up Terastal Festival from Japan. I've already done live instructions on it. So if you really want to crack open some products of Prismatic Evolutions and you're itching for it and you can't find any stock, the other option is Terastal Festival. It's going to be available in just 2 or 3 weeks, readily available, so definitely check it out. We're going to get our hands-on experience on exactly how Prismatic Evolution is going to look with Terastal Festival. A lot of the cards are going to be revealed. I think God Packs are going to be a thing, and it's going to be interesting to see where Terastal Festival ends up, and that's going to change how Prismatic Evolutions ends up. So I hope that Terastal Festival being released will calm down the hype for Prismatic Evolutions a little bit. It may backfire where people are now even more excited for Prismatic Evolutions after seeing Terastal Festival. It's a close call to tell which one it's going to end up as. Either it's going to be increasing the hype or it's going to cool down some of the hype, since people, after they crack open a couple of packs, they lose the itch a little bit and they're like, okay, that's a cool set. I can calm down a little bit now. So that usually ends up what happens after a couple months, especially with new other sets coming out. So if you can't get your hands on Prismatic Evolutions, the point of this video was to showcase that your frustration is clear. It's been around for a long time. This this frustrating scenario of sets selling out before release happens like a cycle. It happens all the time with previous sets. Crown Zenith sold out at release, 151 sold out at release, Shining Fates sold out at release, Vivid Voltage sold out at release. That was the purpose of me showing that Reddit post, was that this exact same scenario happened 4 years ago. And obviously, different time, people will bring that up. Vivid Voltage is still available at retail price. But the point is that if you want to wait it out, you can, and it will be available at retail price at a certain point. You probably don't have to overthink it. I am not worried about it right now. I'm not going to Black Friday sales trying to find Elite Trainer boxes for 25 or 20 bucks. If I'm in the neighborhood, I'll stop by, and if there's some on the store shelf, I'll pick it up. But I'm not actively driving to every single Target and Walmart trying to save $10 to $15 per Elite Trainer box. It's okay if I don't get any socks. It's not the end of the world. And maybe that's me. Maybe it's because I open up enough packs that I feel a little bit privileged. So you guys can let me know down in the comment section if that's just my frame of preference, because I'm really privileged. But ultimately, I just think that's my thought process, because I've been collecting Pokemon cards for a long time, and I'm used to this cycle of hype with every single new set. And I'm used to this cycle of cheap Pokemon cards and hunting for cards. I don't really go out and hunt for cards anymore. If I want to pick something up, I try to order it online the vast majority of the time. And I was able to find some 151 tins in my local Walmart the other day, and that was neat. I wasn't actively hunting for them. I just happened to find some on store shelves, and I was like, oh, neat, I'll pick up some. So I picked up some 151 tins, and now we're gonna give them away for the holiday giveaway. So that's the way I look at it. Try to take things in strides and back away from the hobby if it's causing you too much frustration, right? If you're angry at this hobby right now, take a step back, take a breather. It'll all be okay. So let me know what your thoughts are on Prismatic Evolutions. We did a recent poll on how much people currently have pre-ordered, and there's definitely two camps. There are people with 0 pre-orders, and there's people with thousands and thousands of dollars pre-orders. And yeah, that's just the way it's currently going. I don't know if there's a right or wrong to it, but it'll be interesting to see where this set goes. So your frustration is heard. I absolutely understand it, and I'll see you guys next time.